Hello, Ray Lee with Speedboat Magazine here with another episode of the Boats and Bros podcast. And I'm here with my bro, as always, Myrick Coyle. And today we have brand manager of Kicker Audio, Jeremy Bale. How you doing, Jeremy?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. Thanks for having me.
Oh, man, thanks for coming on with us.
What a killer job. I bet you thinking back through the years and were you a stereo guy with a big stereo in your car growing up or stuff like that?
I mean, I did dabble in it a little bit. My buddies were way more into it than I did. But got into high school, I had a Dodge Dakota, little, the cabs weren't what they are now. They're huge cabs now, but a little extended cab. I got a kicker system that goes right up underneath that back seat. Loved it. It was a great truck. And then my dad took it over, and I think he got more fun out of it than I did.
Yeah, that's funny.
Yeah, growing up in high school, man, we had all the mini truck clubs that just had the booming sound system and the boxes upon boxes, and it was insane.
Yeah. That's one thing I think about it today. You can go online and buy a box that fits your model and all that. It always blows my mind. I was out there making a shitty ass box like man, I hope this baby fits.
Hey,
particle flying everywhere.
Hey, however you can get it done, you just got to get it to fit, right? It may take a little extra shove, hammer a corner here and there to get it to fit in, but it'll get there one way or the other.
The car's value definitely went down when I was putting a stereo in it.
Well, to that point, Myrick, I mean, we watched a video today of the history of Kicker and the founder, Steve Irby. That's kind of how he got his start, right?
That's pretty cool. Yeah, that single box. I forget what they call it. He said it was for like maybe a C10 or something like that, but it was basically one of those pre-made boxes that went right behind the front seat, which is, still today's. He was way ahead of his time at that point.
I designed a speaker that fit just in the little wedge shape behind the seat in a single cab pickup truck and sent it over to him. And he called me back a few days later and the guys love this speaker. We need more.
Now we're in downtown Stillwater, Oklahoma, home of the Kicker speaker.
The original Kicker box, we've got it in a room up front. We've got a little bit of a museum that walks through the history of Kicker products, and it's pretty fun to take people through tours in there. And that one of those boxes is there, and he loves to tell the story. I don't know if he does love to tell the story, actually. Because when he gets to it, he's like, I didn't really want to do this. This was not my thing. This is not where I was supposed to be going. I was supposed to be going to concerts and music venues and doing this professional audio. And here my buddy comes in and says, build this box for me. I'm like, God, you make me put it in there. And then it just changed everything, right? I mean, we have that box, and now we have everything that followed after it. It changed the complete trajectory of the company. And I mean, gosh, we're grateful for it, I guess. When we look back, it's just an amazing story.
Yeah, the way Kicker was, kicking ass was the whole thing. That was like, really? That was it? That's so simple. I love that. I was like, I would have been more of a Kicker fan if I'd have known that story. That should be like just kicking ass.
Yeah,
they call it. And I go, no, what do they call it? And he goes, well, they call it the ass kicker.
Let's see. We're about 53 years in. I think it took him about 45, 50 years to just say the whole line. Right? He wanted to stop at the, bleep out the second half, and he's finally gotten comfortable telling that whole story.
Yeah.
That was great. So tell us about that. I mean, between obviously all of the Kicker products, and especially in our world, the marine audio line is just taken off, and it's huge. We see it everywhere.
Yeah, we started in Marine in 2006, and honestly, I mean, I'll be real, right? We started by taking some car audio products and putting them in boats, and that's what you've got, right? People are asking for them, kind of like the box that goes back in the truck. Hey, can you make one of those amazing professional audio speakers for my truck? Same thing. Can you put those in my boat? And we did. And you learn some pretty hard lessons real fast, right? I mean, those speakers just aren't made for that environment. So it didn't take long at all to start the process of what it's going to take to do a real speaker for a real boat on water and everything that comes with it. And, we did that for a handful of years. And then in 2015, I guess, we kind of continued to expand the line and grew into a full line of marine products where we had everything, head units and speakers and subwoofers, amplifiers, the whole mix and wiring. And then of course that leads us to now, her abbreviated history there, but that's where it started in the marine side was 2006. And it was a really good learning experience. We actually jumped real quick into a lot of, OEMs. And so we had a lot of the towboat market back then. And then we had the 07-08 recession. And when we came back, the marine market came back. We just didn't come back as strong as we were going into it. And so it happened real fast there in the beginning. And then we've been building really the aftermarket ever since. So we're really, really strong in aftermarket with the marine side of what we do. And of course, we have an amazing dealer network. When you look at the 12 volt, the car audio side, we've got dealers all over the country and globally that do a great job selling marine product as well.
Yeah.
But that's not where a lot of marine boaters want to go, right? They're going to go to the marinas. They're going to go to different places to get their boats worked on. And so I think we've had a little bit of a harder time breaking into some of that marketplace.
Yeah.
But still, I've been doing the marine side now. I've been a kicker for, 14 years, I guess. And I've been doing marine since 2018, I think is when I moved over to the marine side. And it's an amazing story to be able to say that we have grown every single year, and we don't have a single year that we don't have growth on the marine side of our business. And here we are again, in 2026, and we're having a really, really strong year. Very excited about it. Just made some changes on the OEM side of what we do. So we're going to be going direct to market or direct to the OEM builders instead of having a go-between with a distributor in there. We still have some distributors that work with us, but we also have a sales manager that came in and take those relationships on. And we're really excited about what he's going to be doing and some relationships that have already been started and getting going. So we're really excited about the marine business. We got new products coming out in January, just some new speakers to add to the line. And we'll be talking about those at IBEX. But, that's just a quick way to intro the marine side of what we do. We're really excited about our products. We put a lot of effort testing, really kind of the sweat and blood that we do here in Stillwater. They're all designed and created here. And then we send them off, for manufacturing and certifications. But man, we love the product as much as we do our car audio product, and I'm really happy to have it out there in the marketplace.
And it's cool. It's like also for me, when I think about marine audio and the way that it's even in the last 5 years with all the RGBs and stuff like that. I mean, it's a focal point in a boat compared to before. It was like hide everything. We don't want to know where the sound's coming from. Now it's like we want the speakers to be the spotlights that are coming out of the side. And it's wild, the integration and everything that's happened in the last 8 years probably. And it's pretty neat. I remember the first time that KICKER really hit me with the whole audio scene for the marine audio, because I've seen it for years, and I actually had subwoofers with I think it was gold lettering on it that said KICKER across it. It would have been in the early 90s, but when we went to Desert Storm, and it was like the first stop of the poker rod, and they had this giant, I think it was 2 stories, if I remember correctly, like pontoon boat / barge with just music jamming off of it. I'm like, man, these guys are legit. This is badass.
Yeah.
Storm is a fun event. There's not a lot of events out there like Storm. We have, I don't know when that might have been, but we've been a part of that for close to at least a dozen years, maybe 15 years. And then, we took a step up maybe 8 years ago. I think it
would really been around 20, I guess, would have probably been when I first witnessed them with my own eyes. Yeah. And then with that whole area off of Storm, that like the area, I don't know if you call it the KICKER corner or whatever you call it, but I mean, there's a lot of action.
It's the eye of the storm where you guys have a huge footprint in there.
Yeah.
And cool. Marek, you missed it this past year because you were getting ready for a race, but their trailer that they bring in there is just massive and just got all the KICKER products in there. And then what is that room up to the front of the trailer? Because I went in there and they guide you in there, right? And they shut the door behind you, and it's just wall-to-wall speakers. And dude, I mean, my organs were like thumping from inside that room. I call it the wall of sound or whatever, but it was crazy how loud and how crisp everything, the sound is in there.
Yeah, the boom room experience is
Boom
something
room.
else. Yeah, we here in the building we've got the wall of boom up in the museum in the front kind of entry area, and it's a similar experience,
Mhm.
but it's definitely not as immersive as that tiny little room when you get in there and you've got all the tower speakers up above you and all the subwoofers in the wall, and it is a visceral feeling inside your body as much as it is, you know, an audible one.
And then with the lights going off like a discotheque, it was just, I mean, very
Yeah.
damn impressive. There must have been about 8-10 people in there with me, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And I was like trying to video, and just my phone's vibrating in my hand. You know,
I
just
don't know how
insane.
many of those videos that I've seen online with the girls with like the long hair, like head in a window of a S10 with their hair.
Yeah, the hair trick.
Yeah,
Always.
that's pretty awesome.
That's right.
Yeah. So, I mean, first of all, thank you for making such a huge presence at Desert Storm, especially out here on the West Coast with us. But beyond that, you guys are everywhere. You guys support motorsports and motocross, and you guys are really immersed in the lifestyle of sound and action sports.
Yeah, UTV also.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, and those are areas that are expanding for us, right? I mean, marine is growing and expanding, but our side by side, you know, that space with power sports is growing also, and even the motorcycle side of what we're doing. I mean, I guess we're in a spot right now where every division of the company is in a growth space, and it's a great place to be, right? When you think about what we hear about the economy and everything going on and all the nerves and whatever is happening, and we're just sitting here every month looking at each other thinking, wow, how do we do that again, right? How do we find a way for every part of the company to grow again? And Steve Irby says all the time, it's like, look, every single person here just continues to do their job, right? They continue to do the right thing for the customer that they're talking with, for the dealer that they're talking to. We treat our customers right. We make our products right. And all you do is look up at the end of the day and say, yep, that's what it takes, is just continuing to do it right. And the R&D team, you know, and they just kill it every time. They spend the time that it takes to make the products right. They're not going to rush them to market. And Steve's going to put his ears on every single one of them to make sure that they sound the way he wants it to sound. And we brought, I don't know if, Ray, I don't think it was here when you came. We have our own testing labs in here now. So we do our own UV testing and our own, all that, you know, it happens here. And then we know it's going to pass certification when we send it off, right? So we're not concerned about it because we're doing all that work right here. It's fun to watch happen. And it's really fun to be on this side of it where I get to engage with consumers that are enjoying it, you know, on their boats.
Yeah. For people that don't know, UV, salt water, all that stuff is tough to deal with when you're talking about a speaker or any electronics, that is. But yeah, I mean, it's not just the sound they got to worry about, put it to you that way.
Yeah, it's it's a tough environment. That's true. That's true.
Well, when I ran into you at Desert Storm last year, I had a chat with you. I mean, I told you then, and it still impresses me how you guys never kind of rest on your laurels. You guys are always pushing, and there's always a new product that you guys are coming out either at IBEX or Miami Boat Show, and that to me is impressive. What keeps driving you guys? Is it Steve? Is it you guys? Is it the whole team?
I mean, you can't help but say that the culture comes from Steve, right? I mean, he's the guy that started this place. He's still around. He's here every day. He's still designing product, right? He's still just deep in the details of how we do what we do and the products we take to market. And so when you're around that every day, you can't help but absorb some of that, right? I mean, you saw the video you were talking about, right? The the guy that's one of the guys that filmed that. I mean, you can sit in the hallway and you look up and it's been 20 minutes and you're still talking to Steve, right? And you're like, the whole video is supposed to be 14 minutes. You know, we've captured way too much, but it just oozes out of him, and we just all absorb it. And that really is where it comes from. He builds the culture just by doing what he does. And the rest of us take that on and take pride in what we do. He gives us room to experiment, right? And to test and try new things and challenges folks to push the limits of what they can do and what we've done in the past. And that just creates an environment, one, that you want to be in. You want to be around people that do those types of things. And then when you look to your right and to your left and people are killing it at what they do, right? it just incentivizes you to do the same thing. And it's really, really great to be around. I mean, we've got around 200 people that work here. And when you just walk down the aisles and think every one of them, man, that we're just all doing a great job. And that just, it just permeates, and we all like to be a part of it, and we all like to create it. But ultimately, and yeah, it's Steve that creates that culture, and we just adopt it from him.
That's awesome. So obviously in the marine world of things, as Myrick referenced, everything needs to be super reinforced and extra care taken into it because of all the exterior considerations of it. Talk about the M series and how that's different from the rest of the Kicker line, and which is specific to marine audio use.
Yeah, you bet. So let's back up and give credit where credit is due. I am not the engineer in the room by far, right? So you're not going to see me sitting at these tables and dreaming this stuff up. I've got lots of ideas in here rattling around, but not the way that these guys do. But Phil White is the guy responsible for product development, life cycle planning, kind of creating the new products. He works with the engineers to put us in a place that we can get this right. So the M class series of product, what really sets it apart is I mean, it's the voicing, it's the materials, it's everything we did. It is our premium. It's the flagship space that we're going to go in the marine line. As far as kind of the marine version of it, everything that we make goes under this moniker of Real Marine, right? So Phil took some time several years ago to write a white paper, let's call it. This is not very exciting to talk about, but it is what drives everything. I mean, you put a white paper together, and then everybody has this thing to work from. So these are the standards that have to go in. And if it doesn't meet these standards, it does not go into the design of a product. It has to at least pass all of this and exceed it wherever possible. And so that has been the driving factor of every product that we've created, really, since those early days when we learned that you can't put car audio products in boats. And he took it and has turned it from there. And so with M Class, we just took that and we upped it even higher. So what types of materials that can we bring in to create the cones that are rigid and are going to hold up and aren't going to move around and flex on us. They're going to create the types of sound patterns that we want to really, really dial in the nuance of sound that someone at this level buying this type of product they want, right? Set up a component set, right? So the tweeter comes off, and it's not like oftentimes people are familiar with these speakers. You see the speaker, our audience probably knows this, but just in case, right? You see the speaker and then you have a little speaker right in front of it. And so with the coaxial speakers, you've got the tweeter sitting right in front of the larger driver. And with the components, you pull the tweeter out and you set it off to the side. And it just allows you to dial that sound in to you can have it pointed just perfectly right where you want it. And even in a marine environment on a boat, you still have a listening area inside the boat that you want to be just right. And people that are picky and that want it just right, we've got the option through M Class to do that. Yeah. And so it's the line that we were able to go a little bit more in, right? And do more with. And it's been it has hit the market and just done well for us. So it's been a great line. We had some fun with the marketing. We stepped outside of ourselves a little bit. Livin Loud is not going away. That's who we are. You're mentioning us being involved in all this stuff, right? From motorsports and all that is our mantra. We're going to live loud however we do it. Sometimes that means volume, but all the time it means we're going to live life as full as we can, and that goes for these products. And we're super excited about the feedback that we've gotten in the last 18 months since we've had that product in the marketplace. It's just done incredibly well, and man, it's been received really well.
Yeah. And to talk about the way that the environment, the marine environment, not necessarily the hazards, but the open air, which it's hard to keep. You have to have a lot of speakers and a lot of sound. So what a good business model to, hey, let's sell speakers to these guys that put 30 speakers on their boat, right? It's because it's not too often that you see an S10 that's taking the whole back, and but every boat that I go by has 30 speakers on it, whether it's towers or whatever. But yeah, it's it's a good business model, and to be selling, I mean, music, it's like one of the most important things in life. It's like if you give me music or TV, I'm picking music. So, so at that point, it's like, well, we're the ones putting the music out there, so we got this.
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Yeah, that's right. And you know, you talk about Steve's story. You know, he's a musician. Is where all this started for him, and he still plays. He's got a keyboard in his office. He gets in there and plays, and every now and then you'll hear somebody show up and they're jamming out in his office, having a good time.
That's awesome.
But that just kind of goes back to all the products, right? Everything he's making, it needs to sound just the way that he wants it to sound as a musician, right? He's trying to get the meaning that those artists are trying to get out in their music. That's what he wants to hear in his speakers.
It's crazy.
And that's a little bit back to the culture. That's what comes out.
My son was riding home with me tonight, and he's 17. We had to pick up a boat on the way to work, and we're riding back, and I was on classic vinyl just by chance. And Fleetwood Mac comes on with Stevie Nicks singing. I'm like, and I know that he doesn't know who it is, and I'm like, you got to listen to her, you know. And I'm not, I'm the old guy now that's like, listen to Stevie Nicks' voice, you know. And he's like looking at me. He's wanting to like listen to Young Thug or something like that, you know. But it's like when I crank the stereo, I'm like, this is unbelievable. But to him, it's got to be like another level. Like his ears got to be that tuned for it.
Yeah.
And I think whatever's in my truck, I even know what brand it is, and I'm jamming it. I'm thinking, yeah, this is awesome. I was just brought into the level of what his ear hears compared to everybody else has got to be unbelievable.
Yeah, and you know what? When you think about that from an entire company point of view, that's something you want to protect, right? And it's something you need to figure out how to pass on.
Yeah.
And he's spent years passing that ability on to a couple other folks that are doing that with him day in and day out, right? So they are creating prototypes and working with putty and mold on cones, and where can we add weight and what can we do, and so that's, as a company, we don't want to lose that, and he's doing a great job of passing that piece of him off to those folks. And it's fun to see that kind of new group come in and help him perfect these products just the way that he wants them.
Yeah. With today's technology too, with all the CAD and everything, it's got from what he saw when his dad brought him what it was like, how to build a speaker kit or whatever, you know, and to now, it's just got to be, his mind has just got to be full of all this awesome information.
Yeah.
Wanted to thank Monster Energy for sponsoring the podcast, the Boats and Bros podcast, and really excited about it. How about you, Myrick?
I'm excited as hell. Monster Energy. I just had 2 of them, man. I'm all jacked up. This sounds awesome. Yeah. I ain't gonna be able to sleep tonight because this is 9 o'clock at night after our boats. Missy's rolling her eyes and shaking her head at me. Anyway, big. You know, being with Monster Energy is an awesome deal. Been fortunate enough to be sponsored by them with boat racing for the last 2 or 3 years, and now to have them on the Boats and Bros podcast. You know, I really do love that sugar-free stuff. And, you know, when we're working late nights and when we're doing all this other stuff, it's awesome to be part of the Monster Energy family and drink their product. So go Monster Energy.
Go. Cheers. Thanks, y'all.
Really got to walk through here when I'm doing that.
Well, beyond that too, Jeremy, I mean, how does that sync up to the source of the music, right? Because it comes from different areas. It can be from an MP3 player to Bluetooth to streaming. What produces the best sound that runs through your systems that you found for the people?
Oh gosh, I mean, Troy, that's one of those almost impossible questions, right?
Right.
Sound is so subjective to the listener, right? I mean, my kids, gosh, they don't even care, right? I mean, they just want noise. They're like, you know, this streaming music is just fine for them. And then, you know, sorry, I was giving my daughter a hard time the other day. I'm like, you're literally holding your phone up to your ear, and you've got we've got Bluetooth speakers all over our house. Like, why do you not have one of these? And instead you're holding it. And so sometimes she doesn't care. Sometimes she does, right? but it is so much the person, and some of it is it's just the day that we live in. It's accessibility.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So what is easy is what I'm going to go for so often.
Yeah.
And when we have the time to really sit down and narrow in and just enjoy the sound, right, we're going to do that in a different way. Right.
Right,
We're going to get some lossless audio. We're going to connect it probably with a wire. We're not going to do a Bluetooth. And then we're going to sit back and really enjoy that. But that's not all the time. Right. So we want to try to make sure that our systems work really well for the environment that they're in, right? So if you're bringing in a Bluetooth stream, then we're going to maximize that and give it the best sound that we can. If you've got the ability to wire in, then it's going to work in all those environments. And the amplifiers, the speakers, they just need to be ready for whatever they're getting.
Yeah, and it's funny in the boating industry. It's like, so our boats will go anywhere. My Milwaukee light went out.
It's a lantern.
Yeah, it's my lantern. My wife wore out the ring light on OnlyFans, so now I got the so now I got the Milwaukee light and batteries are dead. But no, so what I was saying is the range of speed in our boats. So the wind noise comes into play. And then you will be like, man, we were jamming at idle and now we're going and somebody's just reaching over and cranking the knob. So then you're like, the hell's that smell? It's like, I think it's a speaker. I always say they're breaking in. They're like, what do you mean breaking in? I was like, we got them at wide open because we're going 120 miles an hour now. And then when we slow down, we're like, oh man, that's loud. Let's turn that back down, and it's like, the poor engineer is like these idiots that are just cranking the knob. It's like they're smoking the speaker, but man, it's still got to work when they come back down to idle.
It's still got to work. Yeah, the engineers definitely have a hard time with the boating audience. We put their products through the works more than anybody else does.
Yeah, it's like back in the day, it'd be like, roll your window up, in your car. Because now it's just like, just heading down there with everything's wide open.
Yeah, it's like the movie Spinal Tap. They need to go to 11, right?
Yeah. We need to go 11. It's funny today. I was actually in an iron boat, and the customer's like, I just need a little bit louder, so I'm down there on the amps, turning the gain up a little bit. I'm like, but you can't let it eat all the time. He's like, yeah, no problem. Oh man,
Jeremy, you guys have another project, the Kraken project. Tell us about that.
Oh man, sometimes you get a project that comes across your desk and you build the thing out and they say go big, and you build it out and they just look at you and they're like, I thought I said go big, and you're like, wow. I mean, it's hard to believe how much you can put on one boat. I don't know if they can call this thing a boat anymore, but Mike Howe is the owner of the Kraken. Deep Sea Kraken is the name of his company. It's his second, I don't want to call it a prototype. It's probably not giving it justice to what it is, but it's his second model boat that he's trying to get it going. It is a beautiful, beautiful vessel. It's a big, big cat with 4 staterooms in it. And I think when we're all said and done, we've got around 60 items on that boat between amplifiers and head units and speakers. And he just was like, there's a space. I need a speaker there. And there's another space and I need one there. And there's like 6 of them right there. And he just wanted it to be the scene. Wherever he was, he wanted to be the scene. And so we did it. And the guy put it all on there. He got, he's amazing. When I get to talking to him, he just, yep, I can do that. And I don't know, I'll figure that out. We'll be able to do that by the end of the week, and I'll figure that out. It's been a really fun project to get going. The install is done. It's working. We just haven't tuned it in yet. So we're going to go do the final tuning ourselves. We always like to, especially projects that big, we like to do the tuning ourselves. So Phil's going to go with me, our kind of director of product development, right, on that side. And we're going to take John Myers up with us, which is one of our lead trainers that's talking about marine products all the time, installing products all the time. And we're going to go in August and do the final tuning on that boat, which will be a full day of I think we've got 12, 13 amplifiers, I forget, on there. And we're going to be working each one of them side by side. It's going to be an exciting project to finish up. But man, it's a beautiful, beautiful project. It's fun to be a part of. And we're just so grateful that he invited us to get on that boat and to put our product on there. It's not every day you get one like that. So it's a fun one.
That's very cool.
Yeah, he's definitely good at advertising for himself and everything. So we actually did a Super Cat, rigged his Super Cat for him this spring. And he was showing me all the original Kraken, and he was telling me how excited he was to be working with you guys, and I think maybe Ray Marine on the Kraken too. So pretty cool.
Yeah, we came out. They were on the boat, putting all their stuff in. We were like stepping over each other, trying to figure out, who's going to go where, and how can you pull your wires at the same time. And it was fun to see it all come together, because when you get it into a specific time spot, you only have a certain amount of time, and you need to get moving to the next thing. And so we were all just going as fast as we could. But it was a fun project to be a part of, and I can't take I can't take any credit for it, because I was just around and sharing information and connecting dots and saying, "Yep, I can keep pulling, or I can do that." And it was a fun project, and we're excited to see what he's going to do with the Kraken this year.
Yeah, well, Mike and Sarah, they don't do anything half-ass. They're going to go all the way. So yeah,
that's right.
Looking forward to hearing that when it's finally done. Speaking of hearing stuff, a couple years ago at the Desert Storm, before you guys moved into the huge activation spot, you guys were right next to us on the street at the street party, and we were trying to record a podcast at the time. Mark, do you remember that? We had Dan Murphy's.
Like, what is going on behind
so
us?
Loud. We're gonna have to do this later. So it was just like.
We have a lot going on there. We've got two boats out on the street. We've got the rig in the eye, and I don't even know, what do we have, 7, 8 vehicles there between side by sides and trucks,
at least,
and boats. I mean, it was just, and then this year, we activated out on the channel also. We had 4 boats out on the channel the whole time, which was the first time we've done that, and we're excited about kind of expanding on that next year. But it's a great event. We love being there, but especially for the guys on the street, we've had to teach them, like, hey, some of these folks are still open for business behind you. You can't run the whole time. Just let's have some fun, but let's keep it short bursts of fun.
Yeah, no, it was great and very impressive, and just blows my mind. And on top of that, you've also been coming out west and participating in the Super Cat Fest West a couple weeks before that. So you're out in the Havasu for the better part of April.
Yes, we are. Yeah, we've got all of our assets out there for 3 weeks. We take it out, and we you're not going to drive that rig back and forth, so we leave the rig there. We've got some great friends over at Gator Wraps that lets us park in their parking lot when we need to. And I mean, we've been doing it for so long. We've got a lot of people that are able to help out and get us going. We've got some super fans that come and help us out every year, bring their boats and their side-by-sides, and they're just a part of the party. And what a great place to be in, right? I mean, it's not just us showing up as KICKER staff. We got all these fans that use our product day in and day out, year after year, and they're showing up, bringing their toys because they want to show them off. And what better way to advertise your company and share it with the public that's coming through than through real world users that are using this stuff every day. And it's just really been a blast to have events like that.
No question. I mean, Desert Storm, you had boats and jet skis and side-by-sides and Harleys and just everything you can think of. So kudos to you guys for just keep pushing that envelope.
It blew me away that I didn't know KICKER was from Stillwater, Oklahoma. When I went and researched you a little bit today, I was like, man, I would not have guessed that. With your West Coast presence, I would have thought like California or something like that. But
a little bit
that's
closer.
Cool. yeah, way closer. I mean, Mercury, I don't know if Mercury still has something there, but I remember going to a school in Stillwater, Oklahoma one time for Mercury school. So,
Yep, they had a big facility here. They've mostly moved out. But they still have some engineers and designers that work out of a small little office. But for the most part, they've consolidated back to Fond du Lac and various places. But good place to be. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense from a business point of view. Here, landlocked in the middle of the country, but it's where we are, and it's the community that we love and we want to support. And so we'll just keep doing it.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Well, we appreciate it. And then we especially appreciate you guys powering the sound of our world in the marine industry and all the performance boating events. And thank you for keep supporting that, and looking forward to all the things that you have coming up in 2026, 27, and beyond. So, Jeremy Bale, thank you so much for joining us. I know you got to run. This has been another episode of the Boats and Bros podcast with Jeremy Bale of Kicker Audio. My bro, Myra Coyle. Please remember to like, follow, subscribe, and share, and catch us on the next episode. Jeremy, thank you so much for your time.
Man, thanks, guys.
Jeremy.
I appreciate you.
Back in high school, I was playing in a rock and roll band and needed a bigger speaker for my keyboard. And I went to my dad and asked him for $300. 2 or 3 days later, he came home with a book on audio, and it had plans for building speakers. We built a speaker enclosure and put an amp on it, and I played my keyboard through it, and it sounded really good. I graduated from college and went to grad school. I began to realize I don't want to be a sociologist, and decided that I was going to drop out of grad school and start a speaker company.
Okay, well, this is the first kicker building that, like I said, that's too bad they fixed up the front of it because it looked like the rest of it, but you can see that it was all full of junk furniture, and we rent it for $75 a month. And there used to be a sliding door there on the front. Slide it open and you can see all the stuff inside. But it got us started, you know, it really did. It all looked pretty much like this when we were here. There was no electric in it. Had 600-watt bulbs in there. If there was no heat, I worked in there with coveralls.
I had about $12,000 that I had inherited from my grandparents. It seemed to make sense to use it to start a business.
See the sign up here? That we used to put that light on at night. It was a red. It's got red neons and real estate across the front. Occasionally somebody come in there and ask us about real estate. Guess we didn't have anything to sell them.
Kicker actually started as Stillwater Designs, which was the name of the company that my roommate and I founded in 1973.
Our big innovation was to get the boxes for storage upstairs. We cut a hole in the floor, and then we could hand them up from the bottom upstairs to stack them upstairs in that room. And so we bought woodworking tools, we bought plywood, and we got plans from the Alltech Lansing Company for building these big voice of the theater speakers. We moved down here so we could have a separate production shop, so you could pan up that way towards the cars up where the second car is. That's how far it is up to where we had to tank them to put them together. So it was pretty good. Every morning we could have pickup trucks, load up the boxes down here and move them up to the old kicker house up there on the corner.
In 1980, a friend of mine contacted me and said that he had started a music store in Canton, Oklahoma.
This was where we moved to when we consolidated all the buildings into this one. This used to be the Pente building. They made Pente games here. They originated in Stillwater, Oklahoma.
I designed a speaker that fit just in the little wedge shape behind the seat in a single cab pickup truck, and sent it over to him. And he called me back a few days later, and you know, the guys love this speaker. We need more.
Now we're in downtown Stillwater, Oklahoma, home of the Kicker speakers.
You know what they call it? And I go, no, what do they call it? And he goes, well, they call it the ass kicker. When I built the first kicker, actually, I thought, this is all I'll ever do in car audio. It was just, I built it for a friend. It was kind of a sideline. I thought, this is probably the only car audio product I'll ever make, and never really had any vision for going any further with it. Once he had convinced me to try to sell these to audio shops, which we did, we began to get phone calls. And I remember one of the first one was, this doesn't fit in a Corvette. Got to thinking, well, okay, maybe we'll make one more product. So took all the same components that went in that speaker enclosure and just changed the shape of the enclosure to be more of a rectangular box. And so that was the Kicker 2. And I also thought that would probably be the last car audio product we'd build. But that was just the beginning. After we'd had the enclosed speaker systems available for several years, we went to a car stereo contest down in Dallas, and I remember people were building their own enclosures using a lot of them were home stereo subwoofers. So for me, it was kind of an eye-opener that people are wanting even more yet than what we thought was sounding really good and was loud. And that was kind of the impetus for deciding to offer a line of separate speakers that people could build their own enclosure for. And we called them KICKER separates because they were separate from the enclosure. It was just the raw speaker. Begin to realize that people are wanting to put more and more speakers in their cars and there's limited space. Thinking about how to make the speaker work in a smaller enclosure so you don't need to take up so much space. And I remembered reading how you could mount two speakers face to face and put one out of phase so they would work as one speaker. And then it could work in 1/2 the enclosure volume and still get the same amount of low bass. We wired together two of our comp 12-inch speakers as one speaker and measured the teal small parameters on them as if it was one speaker. We would like a 12-inch speaker that has these teal small parameters. Engineer said, well, I can figure that out. The suspension's going to need to be twice as stiff. It's going to need basically double the magnetic force. It's going to have double the cone mass and a larger voice coil to handle the power. So we put it in 1/2 the enclosure size and played it, and it sounded awesome. So that was the beginning of the solo barrick, and we called it solo barrick because instead of isobaric, it's just one solo, instead of two, and then it's like an isobaric. So that's how we came up with the name. In the 90s, we created the KICKER competition group, and that was headed up by Greg Davis. The team actually came to be because of the car stereo competitions that had started in the 80s, had begun to grow and expand, and we had a number of competitors that liked to use KICKER product. There were actually other teams developing too, and so because we had a good foothold in that market, we decided that we would develop a competition team. That team was very, very successful. We kind of swept most of the competitions, and it was primarily because it was supported by us, and Greg Davis was very integral in that, getting the really best competitors on our team and using KICKER equipment. During that time, got Alma Gates, who was a competitor, to convert to KICKER product in her Bronco, which was the world record holder. We had a good thing going, and we had really all the top competitors on our team.
You out-rock the hard rock.
If it's too loud, you're too old.
The development of the L7 came about as an extension of the quest to get more bass out of a smaller enclosure. You've got a square box, or you're mounting a lot of speakers on a panel. There's a space in between them if they're round speakers because they don't fit right up against each other. So you're not getting all the cone area to make sound that you could. So how can we make a square speaker where you can mount them and just have this one huge moving panel of speakers, which has the potential of more output because it can push more air. We molded a square cone, but then we had to design the surround. Eventually, we figured it out, and it had the potential of over 20% more surface area. L7 was descriptive of, basically an L and a 7 together makes a square. It was kind of a placeholder, but then by the time we got the product ready to come to market, we go, well, that's a cool name, let's just stick with it. It was the same with the Warhorse amp. It was a placeholder, but by the time we got the thing to market, it's like, it's the Warhorse, that's what it is. With the Warhorse amplifier, obviously we had a lot of power, and you could drive a lot of woofers, but also there was a need for woofers that would even handle more power than the L7. And that's where we came in with the Solo X. And so that was basically an L7 on steroids. As a company, I'm most proud of the fact that we've held it together and we're still here. That we're still playing the game. I think that's the thing that I'm most proud of, or that I really value the most, and the people that we work with and the products that we create. I think the culture of Kicker, I think it's got to start with me, and I love what I do. I like audio, and I like people, and I care about people, and I think that is kind of where it has to start. You know, it's not something that you can work up. It has to be who you are. Glory to God alone is what Soli Deo Gloria means. I became a Christian back when I was in my mid-20s, and things really began to change for me, but as time went on, I began to see how God worked in my life and offer me opportunities that I didn't expect. If I would have just tried to do this on my own, I wouldn't be where I am. Most of the achievements that we've had are based upon opportunities that came along that I had nothing to do with. And so that's why I want to acknowledge God in that, because I didn't make those opportunities. They came to me, and I just said, yeah, I'll do it. I'll go for it. The original Kicker was like that, actually. In fact, I really kind of went into car audio kicking and screaming. You know, it was not an interesting proposition for me at that time, because car audio was really not very good audio, and what I was doing was. And so, but I didn't know what was coming ahead in the future. I didn't know car audio was beginning to grow. I didn't know they were going to be developing amps that could produce more than 18 watts, and that these systems could be big, you know, with the same sound level as a concert system, even louder maybe, as things have turned out. So that's just maybe one aspect of it, but I've seen God, you know, work in my life and help me when I really committed myself to Him and to live for Him, is that these things came along almost subtly, I guess you'd say. In hindsight, I can see it. At the time, I couldn't see it, but I look back now and I go, ah, I see it now. That's cool how that worked. Yeah. Amazing.
This podcast is powered by Speedboat Magazine. Subscribe now at speedboat.com for 9 power-packed current issues a year direct to your mailbox.